The AI frontier is changing faster than it ever has before. And over the past month, we have really received 4 new models that stand out: Grok 4.5, Kimi K3, GPT 5.6, and Fable 5. And in this video, we're going to be putting each of these models to the test against one another, testing each model with the same exact prompt and reviewing each output and comparing them. We're going to compare where each model excels, where it fails, and how you can use each of these frontier models in your workflow. If you watch till the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which model you should be using and why and when you should be using it. And I'm going to be breaking down how I personally am using each of these models. Before we get started with these tasks, I do have a like goal of 400 likes on this video. So if you haven't already liked the video and subscribed to BridgeMind, make sure you do so. And if you don't know, BridgeMind is the home of the vibe coding movement. It is the largest vibe coding community on the internet. So if you haven't already joined the vibe coding movement, there's going to be a link in the pinned comment down below to join our Discord community of over 14,000 builders. But with that being said, let's get right into testing out each of these models. All right, guys, so I'm over here in BridgeSpace, and I have 3 different tasks that we're going to be assigning to each of these models. And if you take a look here at my workspaces, I want you to draw your attention to the fact that there is a front-end design workspace, a full stack workspace, and then a game development workspace. So the game development workspace is a Flappy Bird game development test. We are going to be testing each of these models and their ability to recreate the popular game Flappy Bird. Then we have a full stack app development test where we are going to be testing the front-end design capabilities, the back-end capabilities, and the database architecture capabilities of each of these models, where we are building a full stack therapy application where we're able to talk to an AI that is going to serve as our AI therapist. And then the front-end design task that we have is a Next.js task that is basically the UI for that therapy platform with no back-end tests. So with that being said, we're going to just submit these prompts all at the same time. So I'm going to go over here and we're just going to submit. I'm using Grok Build, Kimi Code, Claude Code, and Codex. So for each model, we are using the harness that company has created. So one thing that I want to emphasize is that we're looking for quality of the output. We're looking at the usage that we get with each specific plan. And then we're also looking at the speed that the output is able to be created. So we're a couple minutes in, and I do want to highlight on this Flappy Bird game, Codex is hitting an additional safety checks required. So I have to either wait for it to do its safety checks or switch to a faster, dumber model. And remember, this is for a Flappy Bird game. So I'm not sure what about a Flappy Bird game is triggering OpenAI's safety checks, but for some reason we're seeing that. So just note that we're having to wait for the prompt to continue. Guys, it's been 25 minutes since I submitted these prompts, and I do want you guys to note that Grok 4.5 has finished all of its tasks in a very short amount of time. Okay, if we look at this, it was able to finish this Flappy Bird game in about 10 minutes. And I want to talk a little bit about speed. Okay, speed is something that when you are vibe coding, speed is very important because for some tasks, you don't need the most intelligent model. You need to be fast and you need to be able to iterate quickly. And this is one way that Grok 4.5 definitely stands out, okay? Like this here, we have our output from all of the tasks from Grok 4.5. And the reason is because Grok 4.5 is the fastest model out of all 4 of these models. You can see on OpenRouter right now, it's running at 55 tokens per second, and the latency or the time to first token is only 1.45 seconds, okay? If you compare this to Kimi K3, this is one area that Kimi K3 is basically unusable in, okay? It runs at 17 tokens per second, and the latency is literally 14 seconds, guys. This is making Kimi K3 almost unusable, and Kimi K3, it shocked a lot of people, but Moonshot AI, they just need to drop the open weights so that other providers can start serving this. The reason that they're not serving it is because they want people to subscribe to their plan. But I can't use Kimi K3 right now. It's a fantastic model. But look at this. It's been 25 minutes. And look at this. We're only on the second to do here from Kimi K3. It's only outputted 70,000 tokens on the Flappy Bird test. On this test here, 34,000 tokens. It's still on the first to do. And then for the front end design test, it's on the third one, and it's only outputted 60,000 tokens. So this is making Kimi K3 almost unusable. GPT 5.6 and Fable 5 both fall around the middle area, I would say. So Grok 4.5 is on the fast end, Kimi K3 is on the slow end. Fable 5 is running at 43 tokens per second right now, and then GPT 5.6 is running at 40 tokens per second. So they're really close to one another. I would say Fable 5 is a little bit faster than GPT 5.6, but they kind of fall. I don't really notice, oh, this model is really fast or this model is really slow. 40 tokens per second is like the standard, I feel like, with these models, but 17 tokens per second is just completely unusable in my opinion, and the 13.98 seconds latency is just completely unusable. Kimi K3, terrible job in terms of speed. All right, guys, it's been over an hour now since we submitted those prompts initially, and really all I've been waiting on is Kimi K3. We finally have the output from the front-end design test, but for the full stack test as well as the game development test, Kimi K3 is still working. So you guys are starting to see the issue that we're seeing with Kimi K3, but with that said, let's launch all of these websites and see which model was able to produce the best website. Here's the result from Grok 4.5, and let's just click around and see what we're able to do. So this again is an online therapy dashboard. We have take a quiet moment before the day asks more of you. You can click around these buttons. And one interesting thing, I've actually worked in the online therapy industry, and I had a previous startup in that industry. And the biggest thing that my marketing team wanted from us when we were doing the engineering of the platform is to make sure that we had a green theme. They wanted that green theme. So it's interesting that I would say that Grok 4.5 actually nailed the design here for an online therapy platform in terms of the color scheme and whatnot. What's the journal look like? New journal entry. So none of this actually works. Remember, it was just like the front end design. But look at this down here. Do you guys see? I just clicked on this journal page. Do you guys see how this is? Look at this. Do you see how this is cut off here at the bottom? So Grok 4.5 on front end design. Look at this. What even is this right here? It's just completely blank down here. Not great result there. What even happened there? Was it because I clicked that button or no? This is just how it looks. Okay. So you can see that there's some white space down there at the bottom over on the insights page. Okay. So it looks like a very common issue here. Instead of having the sidebar here be like a fixed height, right? That's just 100 VH. Instead, it's based off of the height of the content on the page, which is not a best practice. This is, look at this. So since it's this size, then the sidebar cuts off here when this should be, look at all this white space. That is not a good design here. So, and then when the page is longer, it stems all the way down here. So instead of creating a nice sidebar that was fixed, instead, it's responsive based on the width of the page. So that's just one thing right off the bat here where obviously that needs to be fixed. But the thing about Grok 4.5 is that it's not going to be able to get these things correct on the first shot. Honestly, I don't think that the model is intelligent enough to do that. Usually when I'm working with Grok 4.5, there's some issues like this one here that it's like, okay, this is obviously like a very simple problem, right? But the thing about Grok 4.5 is it won't one-shot, but because of the speeds and because of how fast it is, we can quickly fix this with a follow-up prompt. So if we go over to BridgeSpace, I want you to review the sidebar and note that it needs to be fixed height and be 100 VH. Right now, it responds based off of the width of the content of the page and the height of the content on the page. So let's just give it this prompt and let's see if it's able to actually fix that just really quickly. I'll inspect the shell and sidebar layout. So let's see how fast it's able to resolve this bug. All right, so updates are going in after less than 20 seconds. And now it's using Playwright to be able to navigate, but let's actually see if it did fix it. Let's go back and look at that, guys. So in less than 20 seconds, Grok 4.5 was able to fix that bug, right? So now we have a sidebar that is fixed and is set in that way. And that's a best practice here. It fixed the layout. That's the biggest thing that I noticed when using Grok 4.5. And I think that this is a great reflection of it, is that Grok 4.5, it doesn't have the one-shot capabilities like these other models have. But this is a pretty good design, and we're able to fix any bugs with it. You guys can let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Here's the output from GPT 5.6 Soul. So let's just scroll around a little bit. So it looks like it made, instead of creating different pages, this is all a singular page. But you can see down here that it didn't create that same bug. It was able to one-shot that. If we go to settings, It's all on the same singular page here. So it just made a singular dashboard up here. That looks good. Profile. Let's go to settings. So yeah, so you guys can see it's just one page. I do want to see, what does it look like when this is, let's just go to this here. I want to see, can we go to, like, this is what it'll look like on a mobile screen. So I think that the mobile design would look pretty good. It's not that great. You got icons that don't look amazing, but overall, it's a nice, simple dashboard. This looks fine. This looks fine as well. It didn't have those same common issues that Grok 4.5 did, but I would say average, not super impressed. Nothing really stands out, to be honest with you. Here's the output from Fable 5, and one thing I notice is I'm not a really big fan of this red. From my work in the industry, that is not really a great look being red. The other two were green, which I think does follow like an industry standard. But this is, I don't like the design of it. There's a lot of white space. This chart, you guys just notice like the attention to detail like isn't great. Look at this. It's like that's not actually touching the dot. You know what I mean? Like that is not right. So let's go over to journal. This kind of looks cool, right? I like what it did here more than what Grok 4.5 did with the journal. If we do new entry, this actually works now. If you guys remember from the one that we did with Grok 4.5, it didn't actually have this working, and I can even, hold on, does this actually work? So I can't, this doesn't work, there's no database hooked up, but you can see that it actually built some functionality for it. So I will say Fable 5 did a lot more than Grok 4.5 did, and GPT 5.6. You could let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm not a huge fan of the red because remember, it's an online therapy platform. I think that the green really is the best practice. Let's see what it looks good on mobile and see if it created a nice mobile-friendly design. It did a pretty good job here. Look at this on mobile. I think that looks pretty good on mobile. That looks better than what GPT 5.6 created. This looks good as well. If we go to conversations, go to journal. Let's go to the conversations and see what this did. So this is the conversation screen. I don't know, a new session, process something difficult. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is for an AI session, but this is pretty basic styling, to be completely honest with you. You know, there's a little bit more attention to detail about calling 998 or whatever, 988. I would say that it did more than both Grok 4.5 and GPT 5.6, but styling wise, again, like this doesn't look right. And then there's some other things that don't really impress me at all, to be honest with you. Finally, here is the result of Kimi K3. And guys, by far, this is the best result that we have. This is the perfect green. Even things like this, if you look at the icon here, look at the icon that it created. It almost looks like the BetterHelp logo. I think the font that it chose is really nice. There's that green that we wanted instead of the Fable red. And then if you look down here, this looks really good. And then look at the chart, guys. It got the chart perfectly, whereas with Fable 5, look at what it did with the chart. Do you guys see this little UI bug where it doesn't actually touch the dots? Yeah, no, Kimi K3 got this perfectly correct. And even just the dashboard, like this looks really nice. Look at that, perfect. This is very well designed. If we go over to conversations, let's try clicking into one of these and see what it looks like. I actually can't click into it. If we go to view all, nothing happens. So let's go to journal. Can we create a new entry? No, so it has a little bit less functionality than Fable 5. I feel like went a little bit of a step further where I can actually click into these, for example. So you can see that Fable 5, it built functionality that, hey, I can create a new entry. It pretty much created a complete dashboard. So Kimi K3 didn't go as far as to create that, but I will say the design does look much better. And I think that it did a better overall job in the design. If we go to settings, that is the settings page. We go to profile. I guess this is the profile page. Sign out. You've signed out. This looks perfect. And I think that this does reflect what we're seeing with Kimi K3, which is that this is probably one of the best UI design models. Let's take a look at what it looks like on a mobile screen. Let's just move this down here and see what it looks like. Yeah, this looks really nice, guys. I don't really love this section too much, but let me know what you think in the comments section down below. For this particular task, let me know what you guys think. I feel like Kimi K3 did do the best job here. I would say Kimi K3 did the best, then Fable 5, then GPT 5.6, and then Grok 4.5. Let's now go and check out the Angry Birds game. So this is Grok 4.5. Let's click play and see what we have. So this is the first fight, and let's just see what happens here. Ooh. I don't know about this. Can I angle it up more? Okay. So this doesn't really work very well. So if I angle it up a lot, it doesn't even really do anything. Wait, am I doing something wrong? I've got to be doing something wrong. Okay. That, I don't know how he's floating there. Hold on. Do I have to just pull this way back? Yeah, this does not work very well. The graphics are not good. The functionality is not good. So Grok 4.5 totally failed on this one, guys. Next up is GPT 5.6. So let's start and let's see what we have. Let's take aim. And yeah, this works a lot better. I can actually kind of angle everything. And the graphics, look at the birds. Everything looks a lot more detailed. So the functionality actually works with this. And the design also is much, much better. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. But this is a lot better than the Grok 4.5 output. It actually functions and it works. What happens when we actually get to the next level? Does it actually give us like a new level? Let's see what happens here. Okay, next level. Okay, yeah. So this actually, look at this. Okay, so this is the purple guy. Isn't this like the bomb guy? Let's see if that works. Is he going to explode or something? It doesn't look like it, but this is much better designed, and we do have a leveling system. So I would say that GPT 5.6 did a much better job than Grok 4.5. Next up is Fable 5. Let's see what we've got from Fable 5. Now, Fable 5 has been known to be really good at game development. I think that the graphics and animations there are a lot better. Look at this. This looks really good. Let's go to the next level and see if we can beat this level as well. Now, I would say that this is better. Like, the attention to detail, it really does follow the bird. Like, watch, when I launch this bird, it really does like almost like good camera tracking, right? Camera tracking, it does a lot better with that. But in general, I think that GPT 5.6 Soul and Fable 5 are close with each other here. Maybe Fable 5 by a little bit, but not much, to be honest with you. Now, if you compare it to Grok 4.5, Grok 4.5 didn't even work, right? So that's a pretty substantial difference. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Which is better, Fable 5 or GPT 5.6? I think that they were pretty close. Finally, we have Kimi K3. You guys can let me know what you think. I'll let you watch this one, but let's extend the bird back here and launch it. The camera tracking, again, is pretty good. I would say that the camera tracking is better than the camera tracking that GPT 5.6 had. We were able to clear that level. I don't know. I think that the gains here are marginal. What is that, a bug? Okay. All right. Cleared that level. Now, I don't know. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think in the comment section. I would say that this is pretty marginal, and especially when you factor in that this literally took over an hour to create the output, I would say that I would have preferred Fable 5's output, which did it in less than half the time. But I would say that the gains here are marginal. I would put it in the same category. I think that Fable 5 did the best on this. And then I would say probably GPT 5.6 and then Kimi K3 and then Grok 4.5, which actually didn't even produce a working game. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All right, here are the results for Grok 4.5 for the full stack test. Now, I did have a Metro error. You can see that I had to drop in a screenshot and say fix this. So this actually was not a one-shot for Grok 4.5. There was an error with it. But let's click get started and see if Grok 4.5 could at least build the MVP functionality. Let's just do Matthew@example.com and let's type in a password and see if this works. Full stack dev. Looks like it does work. So good afternoon, Matthew. When you are ready, talk with Mira. There is no pressure to perform, just a quiet place to reflect. That sounds nice. Look down here at the bottom, guys. Do you see, first of all, look at my cursor. Do you see how my cursor is all styled weird? But look at how there are no icons here at the bottom. This is not good attention to detail. Do you guys see this? It's not actually showing icons on the bottom of the app there, but let's see if we can at least talk to the AI agent. Let's go. I need to process something. I'm going to let Mira know that I'm feeling stressed. Hey, Mira, can you hear me? Session ended. I just started the session. So it doesn't look like this actually works. I'm trying to talk to Mira. I did set my API key, so it should work, but it is not working. So Grok 4.5 is unable to one-shot a full-stack app. For GPT 5.6, it is really struggling with this Hermes issue right now. If you guys take a look at this, you're going to see that it continues to fail. It continues to crash. GPT 5.6 has a really big issue right now. It's been working about 10 minutes now to resolve this issue, and I feel like that's enough time to say, yeah, this is a fail on this task. It probably just built the structure of it wrong or something like that. But you guys can take a look at this. Obviously, it's not going to get it running. So this is a complete fail from GPT 5.6. All right, guys, here's the result from Fable 5. And I've got to say the design here looks really good. If you take a look, just everything about it is pretty much perfect. We don't have a logo yet, but in general, this would be a very good output that I would be happy with. Let's just do Matthew@test.com. Let's do a quick password, and let's see if this actually works. Create account. Works perfectly. And look at this. The dashboard looks very well designed. Look at this home reflections. You can even see here where Grok 4.5 left out the icons at the bottom there. Fable 5 didn't. It has icons here at the bottom, Matthew@test.com. Perfect. It has a support. It has an About MindBridge section. And also we have this Mira. Now, the most important piece of functionality, let's see if we actually have an AI therapist that we can talk to. What brings me here, I feel overwhelmed and I feel stressed. Let's talk to Mira. Let's see if this actually works. Hey, Mira, can you hear me, Mira?
Yes, I can hear you, Matthew. You sound clear.
All right, shut up, Mira. I'm not feeling very good. I'm feeling stressed.
I hear you. And it sounds like you're feeling really stressed right now. Matthew, do you want to share what's weighing most on your mind? And if it helps.
I do, Mira.
Okay, go ahead and tell me what's felt most stressful lately.
All right. So yeah, so that works well. And you can even look here. You can see the transcript here, but I'm very impressed by this. So again, this is a one shot. And again, Fable 5, it crushes it. I'm very impressed here with Fable 5. I think this does a very good job. And we can even go back and we can see the reflections here and go back to that conversation. Wow, that's a really good attention to detail there. And look at that. You can go to insights and it even says stressed. So this is very impressive for a one shot with GPT 5.6. It had those errors, but Fable 5 one shot it. It was able to get it working. Super, super impressive output from Fable 5 here. Lastly, guys, we do have the results from Kimi K3. You guys can take a look at the UI design here and let's create an account. Now, if you look at the inputs are a little bit, look at the inputs, guys. Yeah, they're a little bit off. And if you do remember, this did take hours, okay? This took about an hour and a half for this output to actually complete. Let's create the account. And I'm not as big of a fan of the UI here as I was with Fable 5. I think that Fable 5 did a better job on the UI. This is a little bit plain, but let's talk to Mira and see if the functionality works. Again, I'm feeling overwhelmed and stressed, and let's begin talking. Enable microphone. Let's see if this works. Okay, it doesn't look like it works. So it says that the OpenAI real-time handshake failed. So the capabilities of the backend development, it was unable to get this working. So that's unfortunate. Let's see if at least this works. Can I say hello here? See if we can write instead. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, so the backend functionality here didn't actually work for the main piece of functionality, which was my ability to be able to talk to my AI therapist. So that's unfortunate. It looks like Kimi K3 was not able to get that done, but that's going to be it. So ultimately, guys, I would rank these models as follows. I would rank Fable 5 as the #1 model in the world. I would rank GPT 5.6 as the #2 model in the world. I would rank Grok 4.5 as #3, and then Kimi K3 #4. And you may ask, why is Kimi K3 down there at the bottom? It was able to produce some really good output. Yes, it was able to produce really good output, but they can't serve the model. But if you look at this, they literally released this tweet this morning that they're pausing new subscriptions to prioritize compute for current members. They can't even manage the demand. So, hey, if you're being realistic about using the model in your workflow, for example, with that app that we built, it took 90 minutes for me to even get this result, right? And then it didn't work. So that's a huge problem where if I'm really trying to use this model and use it in my workflow to build things, I just spent 90 minutes trying to get something to work. For me to be able to iterate from this point, it's going to take probably another 30 minutes or something like that to get it working. I don't know. It's very slow. So it's a little bit of a letdown. So in my workflow personally, Fable 5 is the top. It's an expensive model. They have confirmed that it will be staying on Claude Max subscriptions. If you look at this here, this was a tweet from July 17th, so about 2 days ago now. They did confirm that it will stay in Claude Max subscriptions. For Claude Pro users, you're going to lose Claude Fable 5, unfortunately, so I would suggest that you switch over to Codex. But with Codex, my biggest issue really is the hallucination rate. Sometimes the model can just be quite unreliable. The hallucination rate is 89%. This is what causes some of these outrageous issues where it's deleting people's production code bases and stuff. Fable 5 hallucination is at 54, Grok 4.5 at 53, and Kimi K3 at 50.94. So in my opinion, I think that Grok 4.5, it's a very affordable model. I do find myself using it. It's right here, 31 cents per task on average. So it's a very fast, affordable model that isn't going to one-shot things, but it's so fast and it's so affordable that you can iterate very quickly. So on tasks that are easier, that don't need a lot of polish, I'm finding myself using Grok 4.5 a lot to quickly do things. But GPT 5.6 I do find myself using, and Fable 5 still is just totally taking most of my workflow right now. And Kimi K3 has definitely been a pretty big letdown, because once it initially launched, it was at 27 tokens per second, and it's pretty much been cut in half. So it's very unfortunate. We'll see how that evolves, because that's really the limiting factor with Kimi K3. Overall, I think it's a pretty good model, but just too slow. So we'll monitor that situation. But if you guys liked this video and it was helpful for you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to BridgeMind, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, or if I missed anything. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the future.